Weather-weary travellers have been battling the coldest December on record to get home or away for Christmas. Met Éireann says its severe weather alert is still in place, with sub-zero temperatures and snow showers continuing in parts of Leinster. Dublin Airport has suspended all flights until 11 o'clock tonight. Tonight's closure and a 4-hour shutdown this morning affected 270 flights and approximately 40,000 passengers. On the roads, primary routes are passable, but driving is still hazardous. Ray Kennedy has our first report tonight from Dublin Airport.
Any hope for many that their Christmas travel plans will be completed are realistically all but over. While some will fly tomorrow, tonight the scenes outside the main terminal at Dublin Airport made it clear that despite the best efforts of airport authorities and airlines during this period of severe weather, it will simply not be possible for thousands of others. First, Aer Lingus cancelled all services, then Dublin Airport closed. Passengers left in droves, among them young families with Christmas plans who'd simply given up.
There'll be no flights for the rest of the night, and we've been told there'll be no tickets, no available seats for tomorrow. So we're planning coming back on the 27th, so we'll cancel it and buy some turkey tomorrow morning.
Aer Lingus battled all day to overcome earlier closures that threw their contingency plans into chaos. In the end, they cancelled all flights, saying they'd little choice.
We had a lengthy runway closure at Dublin Airport today, and due to that we've had a massive knock-on effect for our entire operation for the rest of the day. As a result of that, we've had to actually cancel every flight with a scheduled departure time out of Dublin from 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Ryanair, like many others, were forced to cancel services earlier in the day, but as weather closed in and the airport shut, they remain determined to get people home tomorrow.
What we have now is a delayed operation, but most people will get to where they need to get for Christmas today and tomorrow if we have no further weather interruptions.
But heavy snowfall grounds jets, and despite the best intentions, Dublin Airport has been closed.
We have carried out a friction test on the runway, and the braking action has been severely compromised by the heavy downpour of snow in the past hour, so we are taking the runway out of commission now.
Tonight, some have stayed at the airport, hoping against hope that before airspace closes on Christmas morning, they may have reached their destinations. Ray Kennedy, RTE News, Dublin Airport.
And Ray joins me now from the airport. Ray, 40,000 people affected today. Is there any hope at all for people at this stage that they will either get home or away?
It's highly unlikely at this stage, and because don't forget 40,000 people were affected today, 70,000 were due to travel, around 60,000 were due to travel tomorrow, and of course we had all these cancellations from earlier on in the week. Now the airlines are adding capacity, and they say some people have simply given up and left the airport, so they may lead to some vacancies on certain flights. Aer Lingus tonight announced some extra flights to Boston, New York and Madrid for tomorrow, but they emphasise those flights, even though they're extra services, are already full, and there's no point in anyone trying to seek a booking on them. But Aer Lingus do also hope to run their full schedule tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Ryanair also hope to resume services if possible later tonight, though it's looking unlikely when we see the weather around us right now. But they hope to operate a full service tomorrow if the runway at Dublin Airport can stay open. And of course there are many other airlines involved in many other destinations here at Dublin Airport. They've already been rebooking people all week. There's only one full flying day left until Christmas Day. It's unlikely, really unlikely, when you think of the sheer numbers involved, that people will reach their destinations. Some will, not all.
And Ray, with time running out, people are obviously becoming more anxious and I presume more frustrated. What's the scene like there tonight?
Yes, people are getting frustrated, especially those who aren't living in Ireland, if you like, and were trying to travel. People who have found themselves transiting here while the weather was bad, so flights come into Dublin even though they were supposed to go into London, and they find themselves stuck here for the past few days and they've nowhere to go, and they're staying in the airport. Some people have been here for 4 and 5 days. There's no flights available to them. Other people, they've just said it's not going to happen. We're going home. We've cancelled our travel plans. We simply won't make our destination. I mean, I'll give you an idea of what they're dealing with here, Anne, if you look behind us. I mean, this is the roadway outside the main terminal. And these are people who are being picked up by friends, taking buses, trying to leave, trying to go home. Now, you can see the snow is still falling. And the snow ploughs and the gritters have been out on these roads trying to keep them clear. You can imagine how difficult it is to try and keep 3.5 kilometres of runway clear. And not only that, keep the aprons and the taxiways clear, and clear to a safe degree that the aircraft, when they land, can brake and can take off, and there's no danger to passengers. They're really up against it here at Dublin Airport today, and as Siobhan Moore of the DAA was saying earlier, what they need now is a bit of luck.
Great, thank you for that. The ongoing problems at Dublin Airport have led to the diversion of many flights to regional airports, which have largely remained open through the cold spell. Meanwhile, other transport providers are working flat out to cater for extra demand caused by the bad weather. Bus Éireann is to take the unusual step of running a limited intercity bus service on Christmas Day.
With Dublin Airport experiencing problems and driving conditions still hazardous, people are turning to other transport methods to get home for Christmas. Rail services in particular are experiencing huge demand, and despite fresh snowfalls, Irish Rail managed to run a near full timetable today.
I think it's just safer, and you'll get down, So.
I normally drive down, but it's not possible at the moment.
But for many people, getting home by train isn't an option, and instead they have to take the bus. Lucky then that Bus Éireann services ran relatively smoothly today. In Waterford, people like Maeve Strong from Athlone were relieved to be heading home.
I thought I wouldn't get home for Christmas, to be honest, so I only finished up yesterday and I missed my bus because of my exam, so this is the first bus I can get back, and if I missed it today, I probably wouldn't get back in time.
And because of Dublin Airport's difficulties, Bus Éireann's decided to run some services on Christmas Day to and from the capital and its airport.
Those services will operate to the main destinations around the country that we operate to, for instance like Limerick, Cork, Galway, Ballina, Sligo, Belfast and Derry.
Regional airports like Knock and Shannon have remained open through the bad weather, often welcoming diverted flights from Dublin. In both, there were plenty of hugs today as the coldest of weather gave way to warm welcomes, particularly for those who've had to go abroad to find work.
2 years in Qatar and the last couple of months now in Muscat and Oman.
I'm from Ball in County Mayo, and I left Ireland to work as a nurse. I trained in Castlebar and there was no jobs, so went to England to work.
The disruption to air travel also continues to leave many literally at sea. Ferry operators said services were near full today, but there's still limited availability tomorrow.
My flight was cancelled last night, last minute, so it was a contingency plan.
And so while it may not have been the nicest weather to arrive back to, for most it was still welcome to be home. Will Goodbody, RTE News.
Unforeseen snow hit parts of the east and south today as the cold spell looks set to continue over Christmas. Fresh supplies of salt have arrived in Dublin and Cork to help keep national routes open.
Braving weather conditions, the Air Corps today took a 1-month-old child in an incubator off to London. The infant required emergency treatment in King's Hospital. More snow fell unexpectedly in the east last night and today. It followed more record temperatures in the northwest. One area of Cavan failed to get above -9.9 degrees all day yesterday. Snow was predicted to move into Munster earlier this evening. Met Éireann admit the latest falls came as a surprise. They say they're dealing with unprecedented conditions.
So it really is most unusual for Ireland. Our prevailing winds are in from the Atlantic, a westerly or southwesterly. Now thankfully it does look like we will eventually get into the Atlantic regime during Stephen's Day and the day after, but not until then.
4,000 tonnes of salt arrived in Dublin this morning, the latest in a series of deliveries that'll total 35,000 tonnes by the new year. As blizzard-like conditions hit the east, the National Roads Authority rejected claims by hauliers that not enough is being done to keep national routes open.
We are dealing with historical levels of action here in regards to the weather. And I really don't, wherever you are on the planet, when a major snow event happens, everyone can be caught offside when it's during commuter hours. It doesn't matter where you are.
Gardaí are warning motorists ahead of the expected thaw on St Stephen's Day.
Met Éireann are talking about an improvement in temperatures. That could not be considered an improvement in road conditions. The thaw will bring with it very dangerous conditions, and we want the same common sense to prevail. We want people to recognise the need for reducing the speed and not be overconfident.
Meanwhile, Irish Water Safety and the ESB have warned people not to venture out on frozen lakes and rivers as the ice may be thin. Due to the conditions, Dublin outbound routes to the north and southwest were difficult this evening for the Christmas rush. But Met Éireann is predicting drier weather tomorrow.
And John joins me now. John, what's the latest on traffic and on road conditions?
Well, earlier on, the AA was warning of congestion on a number of routes, particularly out of the capital. Now, the congestion is eased, but snow is still falling in the Eastern Midlands, and conditions are very hazardous on a lot of roads, and in some cases, visibility is very poor. We talk about the M7 in Kildare, the M4 in Lucan, and the M1 north of the M50. But there are problems all the way from Louth down to Wexford, in as far as Westmeath, and ice remains a problem all over the country. Now, we've had fresh salt supplies. More salt is going to be on the roads than over the past couple of days. But the conditions are supposed to get drier tomorrow, according to Met Éireann. But of course, we weren't supposed to get snow today, and the weather has continually defied predictions. So anyone travelling tomorrow is going to have to check in the morning. And the Gardaí are advising people to think about using public transport, as all these services are up and running. However, Met Éireann is still sticking to its prediction of a thaw starting on St Stephen's Day.
John, thank you for that.